could be forgiven for thinking that using an automated milking system has taken this farm down the route of intensive factory farming, when in fact nothing could be further from the truth. This farm has put the welfare of its animals first. The traditional milking process is a series of tasks involving collecting animals, routing them into the parlour, inspecting and cleaning teats, attaching milking equipment, extracting milk, removing milking equipment and routing the animals back out of the parlour. But voluntary milking systems hand control of the milking process over to the cows themselves and allow the cow to decide its own milking time and interval, rather than being milked as part of a group at set milking times. The main benefits of voluntary milking are an increase in milk yield from more frequent milking and reduced labour, as well as the farmer not needing to be present at milking times. It can also ensure that high standards of animal welfare can be maintained. Voluntary milking systems require complete automation of the milking process, as each cow may choose to be milked at any time during a 24-hour period. Each cow is an individual, and it's all about giving autonomy to the cow and letting it choose how to live its own life. The milking unit consists of a milking machine, a teat position sensor, a robotic arm which automatically applies and removes the teat cup, and a gate system for controlling cow traffic. As an incentive to attend the milking unit, concentrated feedstuffs may be fed to the cow in the pen, and the barn may be arranged so that access to the main feeding area can only be obtained by passing through the unit. When the cow elects to attend the milking unit, about 6 or 7 times a day due to conditioned habit or udder fullness, a sensor reads an identification tag on the animal and passes its identity to the control system. If the cow has been milked too recently, the automatic gate system routes the cow past the unit. If it may be milked, it is routed into the milking pen. The core of the voluntary milking system is the robotic manipulator. Once in the milking pen, a laser-guided robot locates the cow's udder. This robotic arm automatically cleans the teats and then latches the cups onto them. The design of the robot arm and associated sensors and controls allows robust, unsupervised performance of the equipment. Letting the cows control their milking schedules actually increases their productivity and is more humane than traditional methods, as the animal's udder is never completely full of milk and is less likely to become accidentally damaged. Less weight on its hind feet also benefits the cow's welfare. Effective animal husbandry requires farmers to be fully aware of their herd's condition, and in automatic milking, the robot's milk quality sensors can detect changes in milk due to infection. Using the voluntary milking system also releases farmers from having to attend the milking process and enables them to concentrate on the well-being of their animals. There are cows that like to be milked at 4 o'clock in the morning, and others that are never milked between 3 and 7 o'clock in the morning because they don't want to be. Likewise, there are cows that are milked 4 times a day all through the year. There are others that start off at 4.5 times a day, and by the end of the year they're only coming in 1.5 times a day, and that's their choice. The average cow seems to be comfortable with about 9 or 10 litres of milk in its udder, and as soon as it reaches that, she will visit the voluntary milking system. If she's giving 50 litres, she will come to be milked 4.5 times a day. 6 months later, however, she may be down to 20 litres, and may only be coming twice a day. Traditionally, when cows are milked twice a day, they carry up to 25 kilos of milk in their udders, which can become damaged as the gravity takes effect, and the cow can have problems with mastitis. So the more often the udder is emptied, the longer it will last. Like us, cows need holidays, and the voluntary milking system knows how many days to give each cow. The aim on this farm is for about 80 days per cow, which is about twice the normal, as most herds are running on about 50 days. With an organic system, you are not using antibiotics, so you have to give the cow's udder time to repair itself during the dry period. So 80 days seems to be a much more acceptable dry period. The voluntary milking system is an automated milk harvester, and to get the maximum amount of economic benefit, you need to produce the maximum amount of milk every 24 hours. If you've got the maximum number of cows for the system, which would be around 70 in milk and about 25 dry, there are cows waiting to be milked 24 hours a day. Normal milking frequency is between 7 and 9 cows an hour, but there are periods of the day, between 2 and 4 in the morning, when that will drop perhaps down to 4 cows an hour, and there is often a period in the early afternoon where it drops again, but by and large it runs 24 hours a day. The milking system's computer is able to inform the farmer by mobile phone if there's a problem with the system. It will tell the farmer whether the problem is with the cow or some aspect of the machinery. The farmer can then send a text message to the robot asking it to call him back if the problem has not rectified itself within 20 minutes, and that takes care of about 3/4 of all alarms. Individual cow histories may also be examined and alerts set to warn the farmer of unusual changes indicating illness or injury. Gathering this information provides added value for automated milking systems. However, correct interpretation and use of such information is highly dependent on the skills of the user. This system has twin line technology that allows milk to be separated by different criteria. The operator can choose and program in, for example, the collection of milk for producing ice cream. The computer system will then work out which cows are producing the right kind of milk for ice cream, and as they come through, it will automatically separate their milk into a separate tank. Under this system, milking one cow at a time, the milk can be diverted into different holding tanks, and significant premiums for supplying designer milks or novel food ingredients can be achieved. There are about 300 proteins in milk, so you can imagine the possibilities if we can find out what these proteins do and what benefits they offer. There are all kinds of different proteins that can be identified and separated out for different manufacturers. Baby food manufacturers, for example, might be interested in audit and traceability issues, and also the health of the cows producing their milk. Milk producers using this method are able to say to a baby food manufacturer, for example, you need 10 cows to produce the amount of milk that you're going to need, and you can have access to all their health records. These cows can be screened every month or every 6 weeks or whatever is appropriate, and that adds to the brand's value. This voluntary milking unit has an integrated calf feeding system, and it's cost effective to have a robot calf feeder which is linked completely into the main milking system. When a calf needs to be fed, milk is transferred from the cow that's on the milking system all the way across to the calf barn, 70 metres away. Just after the calf is born, it receives milk fresh from a cow. As long as you set the program to do it, it will actually take milk from the calf's own mother, put it into a bucket and put a different digital label on it. For about 5 days, the calf is fed milk from its own mother, but if you know that its mother hasn't got good colostrum, you can collect milk from a better cow and feed that to the calf. Studies have shown that the average cow feeds its calves 6 times per day in any 24-hour period, and therefore this system has been set up to feed the calves 6 times a day. The computer divides the day into 6 periods, so every 4 hours the calf is entitled to a feed, and this is controlled by a transponder around its neck, which also weighs the calf and takes its temperature. An increase in productivity is linked to the physiological and physical well-being of the cow, and if these are good, it also results in a lack of stress. An indication of how relaxed a cow feels in its environment can be tested by measuring its comfort near humans. Cows have a circle of about 6 feet around them that's their own space. To carry out this test, somebody who doesn't know the cows walks in amongst them, with the cows getting a tick mark for either standing still or coming forwards, or a cross for backing away. From what we know about cow psychology, we can measure whether the cows are happy or not in this kind of a system. And are the cows happy with voluntary milking? The average mark for a cow being milked traditionally is about 50% ticks, but on this farm, the animals are scoring marks in the high 80s. And as you can see, the cows on this farm must be very happy cows indeed.